So if you're transitioning into starting your own business, one of the first things you're going to need to do is get an employer identification number, simply referred to as an EIN. In 2023, my partners and I opened up our own physical therapy practice on the Upper West Side of Manhattan. We spent a bunch of time researching this stuff, and so in this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly what an EIN is and how to get your own. That way you'll be one step closer to getting your business off the ground. So what exactly is an EIN? EIN stands for Employer Identification Number, and it's issued by the IRS. And just so you know, the IRS is the Internal Revenue Service. Think of an EIN as a social security number for your business. It's helpful for tax purposes and also just legally identifies your business. So you might be wondering why you need an EIN in the first place. Well, if you plan on hiring employees in the future, if you plan on opening business bank accounts, if you plan on applying for business loans, you're gonna need an EIN. It's also a great way to keep your personal finances and your business finances separate because it'll protect your personal social security number. And if you have partners like I do, you can imagine that each person having to use their social security number or deciding on one person having to use their social security number to do certain things can get really messy. And so having the EIN number is just gonna protect all of us and just make things a lot smoother. So before you apply for the EIN number, I suggest gathering a few bits of information and just keeping it handy with you throughout the process. That way you don't have to go searching for information while you're filling out the application. So the information you're gonna wanna have handy is your business name, your business address, and also your business entity type. So for our business, we're an LLC, but you're gonna wanna make sure that you know whether you're an LLC, a sole proprietorship, or a corporation. And if you don't have an LLC yet, you can watch this video where I walk you through the entire LLC registration process. So now let's talk through the application process. You can apply for an EIN directly on the IRS website, which is gonna be the fastest and the easiest way to get it done. And surprisingly, applying for an EIN is a free service offered by the IRS. And I say surprisingly because I feel like throughout the entire process of getting our business started, we were hit with all these fees and things you had to sign up for and pay for. And so the fact that the EIN was free was just a really nice breath of fresh air. Oh, and I just want to say, technically you can apply for an EIN over the phone, via mail, via fax. I just mentioned online because I think it's the fastest and the easiest way, but do whatever convenient for you and accessible for you. All right, so now I'm gonna walk you through the online process. And so I have my laptop here, and so I'm gonna go into screen record. You're gonna go to this page on the IRS website, which I will link in the video description below. Scroll down and click this button. It will take you to a page called EIN Assistant. And just notice that there are some rules here. And so these are pretty important. You must complete this application in one session, as you will not be able to save and return at a later time. For security purposes, your session will expire after 15 minutes of inactivity and you will need to start over. And then lastly, it just says that you will receive your EIN immediately upon verification, which is pretty nice. So just click begin. There are 5 steps here that should take about 5 to 10 minutes total. The steps are identify, authenticate, addresses, details, and confirmation. And you can see them listed there at the top. And so I already did this, obviously, and so I'm not gonna go through it again, but this is just to show you that the process is really simple. There's only 5 steps. The entire thing should take about 10 minutes. And once you go through that confirmation step, you should get your EIN pretty much immediately. Oh, and I suggest saving a copy of the confirmation page that you get after going through the process. That way you just have it for your records. So now that you have your EIN, congratulations. I'm gonna go through some tips that I wish someone told us when we were going through this process. And so make sure to keep your EIN safe, just like you would your personal social security number. If your business information changes for whatever reason, you're gonna have to update your EIN. We haven't had to do this yet, and so once we do that process, I'll give you guys an update. And so just a quick detail on that, you do not need to update your EIN if your business name changes or if your business address changes. However, you do have to update your EIN if your business structure changes or if ownership changes in any way. Structure meaning LLC, sole proprietorship, corporation, and then obviously ownership. If you sell the business, they're gonna need a new EIN. If you add an owner or if you subtract an owner. So this is super niche, but if you're like us and you're doing business in New York State, there's a specific requirement that I'm gonna read off the IRS website. In New York State, businesses with employees must also register with the New York State Department of Labor after receiving their EIN. We don't have employees right now, but once we go through that process, I'll update you guys on what that's like. So now that you have your EIN covered, your next step might be opening up a business bank account to protect your personal finances, which I talk a lot about in this video.